Today, I am going to show you how I cross-cut veneer plywood. Now, if you've ever built a little cabinet or whatever with veneer plywood, any type of plywood, you know that when you cross-cut it, it just chips everywhere. You know, and the big boys, they got the big table saws with the undercut. You know, they've got some fancy equipment to eliminate a lot of that tear out. But when you're just a shop guy, a little shop guy, it's hard to do. You need some really fancy equipment in order to do it. But I'm going to show you how to do it so that it's perfect. I'm going to show you what it looks like if I'm just going to use my chop saw, cross cut this, and show you what happens. Now I went nice and slow, so you can't say, well, you went too fast. But let's take a look. Now this particular one, I needed a chunk like that, so. You can see on the top side, it's perfect. Now that works fine if you don't have to worry about, you know, having it tore out on the bottom side. But if you need both sides nice and clean, then you need to change the way you do things. So let me show you what we're going to do. So to eliminate this tear out, I'm going to cut one here at 10 inches. That's for the project that I'm going to be using this for. This needs to be 10 inches. Okay, I'm going to measure 10 inches on both sides. Then what I'm going to do is, this is the bottom side. I am basically just going to make a cut with my knife down the line. And you want to cut through your veneer. Now we know that the blade is 1/8 of an inch, so if we make a mark at 1/8 of an inch, when I cut this, just eyeballing it, then this side won't tear out. Got a little bit on that side, but on this side, our good piece, no tear out whatsoever. I've been a little off on my line here, but that's really a small amount of tear off compared to what it would be. So I'll make another cut. Just got a scrap piece of plywood. Now we're going to cross cut on the table saw now. So I'm going to make my score. Now because this is a big piece here, it's really hard to hold your straight edge when you're making a cut because it's going to move all over on you. So I usually just clamp one side down. There we go. I'm going to bring the camera in a little closer and show you. Go find the piece that just fell off. That is quite a difference. That looks pretty clean along my good side. Of course, this one has been chopped on both sides a couple times, so it looks really bad. But to really ensure that you're going to get a nice clean cut, just put your score maybe a 1/64 of an inch on that side, and it'll guarantee at least that you're not going to have some tear out. So it is possible to do some thin veneer on a table saw. So next I'm going to show you, we'll do a little demo on, we've got a project going on, I'll do a little demo with the skill saw as well. Still working on another project, but for the crosscut segment here, I'm going to use the skill saw. Now, all the rules apply. You still have to, anytime there's you're going across your grain, you just make your cut with your knife, and then cut it, and your tear out will be minimized. So, this is going up against some drywall, so I got a bit of a crooked line here. So I'm just going to freehand this one, and then we will use the straight edge to cut these ones. Go real light on your first pass. That way you get it where you want it to be. We'll make a couple passes. Now if you're doing a little bit longer cut, if you've ever tried to make a cut with a ruler, you know by the time you get down here, your ruler's over here. And then you kind of wish you never got out of bed. So what I like to do is clamp my straight edge into place. That way it's not going to move on me. And I have a better chance of salvaging my day. Okay, let's make the cut. Can really see the difference there. Now if you had to have this one good as well, what you could do is make another mark over the thickness of your blade like we talked about before. Make another cut with your knife, and then you would minimize any tear out on that side. Pretty happy with that.